You drop your keys, or maybe someone just asks you a simple question like, "What's for dinner?" It is a tiny, completely insignificant moment. But suddenly, out of nowhere, a wave of absolute white hot fury takes over your entire body. You snap, you yell, your heart is pounding, and then, 10 seconds later, the anger just vanishes. It leaves you with a crushing wave of guilt, shock, and this terrifying question: who was that? What is happening to me? I need you to hear this right now, and I want you to let it really sink in. Take a deep breath. You aren't losing your mind. You aren't becoming a bad person. It's your hormones. This is what we call Meno-Rage. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are tackling one of the most isolating, confusing, and least talked about symptoms of perimenopause: the sudden, intense anger. If you've been feeling like an alien has taken over your emotional responses, you are in exactly the right place. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why this is happening to your brain. And I'm going to share a highly specific technique called the mindful pause, a biological hack to stop that destructive reaction cycle dead in its tracks before you say or do something you'll regret. But first, we have to talk about the biology, because understanding the science of what is happening inside your body is the absolute fastest way to drop the shame. Most of us were taught that during perimenopause, our hormones just slowly and gracefully decline until our periods stop. This is a myth. What is actually happening is that your primary hormones, estrogen and progesterone, are on a wild, erratic roller coaster. They are spiking and crashing unpredictably. Progesterone is nature's Valium. It's a calming hormone. When that drops, our natural buffer against stress disappears. But the real culprit behind the rage is estrogen. Estrogen is deeply linked to the serotonin, your feel good, stay calm brain chemical. When your estrogen levels plummet rapidly, it drags your serotonin down with it. At the same exact time, your cortisol, your primary stress hormone, can spike. Your amygdala, the part of your brain responsible for processing threats, becomes hyperreactive. You are literally walking around with a chemically induced hair trigger. Your brain is getting false signals that you are under severe threat when all that happened was someone left their shoes in the hallway. It is a physiological, neurological response. It is not a character flaw. And let's be incredibly honest for a second about why this feels so uniquely terrible. As women, we are socially conditioned our entire lives to be the peacekeepers, the calm ones, the caretakers. We are taught to swallow our anger, to be accommodating, to make sure everyone else around is comfortable. So, when this perimenopausal rage hits, it doesn't just feel like a mood swing. It feels like a fundamental violation of who we are supposed to be. It terrifies us, and it terrifies the people around us who are used to us holding it all together. But you're navigating a massive physiological transition. Your body is rewiring itself. You deserve grace during this speed process, not judgment. So, how do we handle this chemical firestorm when it hits? You use the mindful pause. Neurologist Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor discovered that when a feeling is triggered, The chemical cascade that rushes through your body to create that emotion only lasts about 90 seconds. If you can ride out that 90 seconds without feeding the fire, the peak intensity of the emotion will naturally pass. Here is exactly how to do it. Step 1 is the hard stop. When that rage spikes, you usually have about a 1 to 2 second window with between the trigger and your reaction. That is your power window. In that tiny window, your only job is to stop. Do not speak, do not send that text message, close your mouth, physically step back from the situation if you have to. You are hitting the pause button on the reaction. Step 2 is the internal scan. This is where magic happens. You have to shift your entire focus away from the person or the thing that made you mad and look inward at your own body. Notice the anger strictly as a physical sensation. Is your chest suddenly burning hot? Is your jaw locked tight? Is your heart racing? Are your hands curled into fists? Say to yourself quietly in your head, my body is experiencing a chemical surge right now. By observing the physical sensation, you detach from the story of the emotion. You become the curious watcher of the rage rather than the victim of it. Step 3 is ride the wave. Breathe deeply into your belly. Count to 90 if you have to. Remind yourself that this is a temporary chemical flood and it is already draining away. If you can just breathe through that minute and a half without lashing out, you take your power back. The anger might still be there, but the rage, the uncontrollable blinding rage, will subside enough for your logical brain to come back online. Now we have to talk about the absolute hardest part of this entire experience, the aftermath. If you do lose your temper, and you will because you're human and no one masters this overnight, the guilt that follows can be completely suffocating. I call it the Meno-Rage hangover. You might feel the urge to isolate, to cry, or to berate yourself for hours. I need you to practice radical self-forgiveness. When that guilt hits, I want you to talk to yourself the way you would talk to your best friend. Remind yourself, my brain was reacting to a hormonal misfire. I am doing the best I can while navigating a massive biological transition. If you snapped at your partner or your kids, wait until you are fully calm. Go to them and say, I am so sorry I snapped at you earlier. My hormones are shifting and I was feeling incredibly overwhelmed. But it wasn't fair to take it out on you. I am working on it. Apologize for the behavior if you need to, but do not ever apologize for your body changing. You're adjusting to a new normal. It is messy, it is uncomfortable, and it takes time, grace, and a lot of deep breaths. You are doing so much better than you think you are. Be kind to